Let's keep working, people. Are we getting there?
Yeah. Run reel 10 again. I think we're duplicating a shot here.
See, a movie doesn't come all on one big reel. It comes on a few.
You got your syncing, you got your editing.
How soon do you think we'll be able to get this cut?
Welcome to the Postcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Postcast podcast. Today's a little bit of a different episode. It's just me and Jamie today.
Hi.
So I'm Jim Chalice. I'm a filmmaker and editor, and in front of me, the only person in front of me,
I'm Jamie. I help make movies too. I edit and assistant edit.
Yep. So today is we're doing the namesake episode.
Yeah.
Because we've done at this point, so I guess you could say 17 hours worth of material before this, or 16 hours.
I think there's more than that actually.
Right.
There's easily like 30 hours worth of material before this.
The 16 released hours, let's just say.
Something
and
like
we've
that.
barely, I think the last episode we kind of got onto the topic.
Yeah, you and I try to scratch the surface when it comes to editing.
Yeah.
And it always kind of, we look at each other and it's like, oh, well, this is too technical. Maybe we should bring this into something else.
Yeah. So we've been talking about this episode for a long time.
Yeah, and now here we are.
Yeah. So we're finally doing the nerd episode.
Yes.
Yeah. The
workflow episode, I guess.
The workflow
Jesus.
episode. Yeah.
It's going to be good.
The bummer episode.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Avid versus Premiere.
Avid versus Premiere.
Yeah.
And we could throw in Final Cut, but I mean, really.
Like, who wants to talk about that?
We don't really have to do that.
Want to talk about Sony Vegas? I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, Vegas. They tried so hard.
They did their best.
They really did.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it, let's go into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas. The thing with Vegas was that they sandwiched it with, or they like tacked it on to their Vio products.
Mm-hmm.
So you could really only get it if you got a Vio, or it only really worked well if you got a Vio.
It was weird. It feels like, you ever worked with like a C300 camera?
Yeah.
You know, when Canon comes out with their like browser.
Yeah.
So you could like view the.
Oh yeah.
It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
It was like a precursor to those kind of browsers.
Yeah.
And I think at the time they're like, oh, we can edit with this, but in reality, it was just like
it's a browser.
It was a browser.
Yeah.
It was just to look at footage.
Yeah.
And they added some like little editing things here and there, but they just weren't there.
No.
And it's weird. It always surprises me when a company like comes out with an editing software, especially when like a company like Avid owns the post-production scene for so long.
Yeah.
And they're like, we could contend with these people, but they're not willing to like kind of copy. I hate to say this out loud, but kind of copy their structure and like turn it into your own ideas and see what sticks. And that's what Adobe is doing so well right now.
Yeah. I mean, just that's kind of the issue with, I shouldn't say the issue. That's kind of the brilliant part about Adobe is that they really got smart and they were like, okay, look, we're going to take what we like and we're, actually, no, they're kind of doing their own thing. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, well, when they first started, they are doing their own thing now.
Right.
But when they first started, they were aware that they were going into a market that's pretty much dominated by Avid.
Yeah. Rightfully so, goddammit.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
I'm extremely biased in this conversation.
No, me too. Like I love Avid.
Yeah.
I worked with Premiere for the past year. Like on professional projects, and I love it.
Right.
Like in the beginning, I hated it. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then now, towards the end, like retrospectively, I really enjoy the program. Yeah. And I'm excited to do my next job. That it's also on Premiere because there's like, I'm in this weird like assistant editing phase where it's like, oh, I could learn something new again.
Right.
You know, and there's something really exciting and a little terrifying about that at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas Avid, I feel like
you're done.
Yeah, I'm done learning as an assistant editor.
Right. Yeah.
It's gotten to the point where like we have friends who work with Avid.
Yeah.
And like if there's something incorrect with it, you're like, oh man, I'm just gonna email this guy and see if they could do something new with Avid, which is super weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm really excited to keep working with Premiere.
I like Premiere. It's I guess saying that is weird because when I worked on Premiere a couple times, and whenever I do, I end up just kind of like remapping the keyboard to match my Avid keyboard.
Right.
You know?
Naturally. Me too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So it's just like okay, I'm sitting there like, oh, I love Premiere, but I don't know how to use it. You put me in front of a Premiere keyboard, I'm gonna be fucking confused. I have no idea what's happening there.
Yeah, me too. It's too free thinking.
It's too loose. I think
it's too loose.
I mean, like I always make the comparison between like an Android and an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, like an Avid's like an iPhone. You know, it's a little boring. You know.
Yeah, but it works. It's effective.
Yeah.
clear. It's organized.
Yeah, it feels solid.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get like an Android where it's like, granted, I know nowadays someone somewhere's like, fucking Androids are great. I'm just talking about.
I'm that guy.
Yeah,
I have an Android in my pocket.
Yeah, but you know, back in the day when Androids were all like plastic.
Yes.
You know, none of them felt solid, and they all kind of had like the operating system was kind of a little janky.
Right.
That's kind of how I equate the two.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Avid being Apple, a little old, a little boring. You know, but it works really well all the time.
Yeah.
And then you have Android, which is like, and Premiere being like brand new and loose, and you can do whatever you want.
You can get crazy.
You can do things 10 different ways, and it's like, granted, you only need to do it one way, but whatever.
Right.
You have 10 different ways of doing it.
Exactly.
You know?
I think one of this editor I worked with a few years back, he described it the best, like, I guess, metaphor. I don't know. Best way I ever heard in my life. He was like, Avid's your really clean, neat friend who like he knows where he or she knows where everything is. If they're like a chef, like everything's timed out and measured correctly. Right. Whereas like Premiere is like your dumb drunk friend that you could hang out with. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, 15 different frame rates. Yeah, let's throw that into the sequence. Whatever. You want to import some shit? Let's do that too. Yeah. I don't know where the footage is. You'll tell me later. That's cool.
That's fucking accurate.
And it's so accurate. And I love that joke so much because it's so geeky.
Yeah, it is.
But it's just so goddamn accurate.
No, it's so true. I mean, like that's where like, for as much as I love the freeform of Premiere, it's like it just when you get down to it, it's like Avid just has the media management on lock.
Yeah, they do.
So it's such a bummer. Like, especially the one thing I love about Avid is like, especially when you take a job and you're like coming in at the very end, you know. So you've had like maybe one or two other AEs on the project beforehand,
right?
And Avid, you go in and you're just like, oh, everything is in, all the media is in the media folder.
Yeah.
And, you know, granted, they might have put stuff in random bins, but for the most part, all the media is there.
The breadcrumbs are there.
Right. Whereas like when you go into Premiere, it's like you just, like,
yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. Cause you never know where Hey, so for people who don't know and who are listening to this nerdy ass conversation. So when you look at Avid creates files. Avid creates its own media and its own folder every time you take a file into it. Something like Premiere doesn't make anything new. No. It pretty much just has you have a folder. It looks at that folder and says, "Hey, that's where the media is, and that's what it is." And you can put whatever you want in there, and link to it as much as you want. The problem is a lot of people, or some people who are unorganized, end up with 15 different folders of 15 different things, and
just
all
doing whatever they want,
pretty much.
Yeah.
And then God forbid something's on an external drive and they take that external drive and
it's gone it's gone forever.
Yeah. So when we say like Avid is the best at media management, it's because it creates its own media and it loads it into a folder, and that folder exists in that one location, and you can move that folder you want. It'll find it. It'll find it, but it's more stable and secure than it is with Premiere, where you can just kind of have files anywhere.
Yeah, I think the term is non-destructive. Like it's one of those. Avid's very good at like you said, it creates its own files, its own file structure, and then whereas Premiere, you have to make everything, and you have to be super neat. Like this project made me a lot more organized.
Oh, really?
Because like I coming from Avid, where Avid does everything for it protects you from yourself. Whereas like Premiere, you just kind of have to you have to do all that shit. So like I'm making proxy files, and I have to hide them somewhere, but I have to know where they are. I have to know where everything, all the and granted, it's the same thing with MXF files,
right? Yeah.
But like proxy files are video. Yeah. You have to be really, really sure about everything.
Right. Whereas
like MXF files, you can kind of wing it.
Yeah.
And in the very end, you could find all that stuff. With Premiere, it's not like that at all.
Yeah.
You really have to know where everything is.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I'm kind of happy that I'm working with Premiere because because it's so loose, it's made me better at organization and stuff like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I like about Premiere, the one thing I really love about Premiere is, excuse me. I'm waiting for that thing to go by.
Oh, it's never going on. It's been on for like 10 minutes.
I know, the fucking popo. You know what? It's probably an ambulance because a lot of old people in this neighborhood. Someone's definitely dead.
It's wambulance.
Yeah, wham, done. The one thing I do love about Premiere though is the title tool in it.
Fuck yeah,
it's really good.
It's great,
especially compared to the Avid one, which is like
archaic.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke.
You don't think that's Avid's whole thing? If it ain't broke, yeah, you know it's been broken for a while.
It's been like
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the old Buick. It's like it so fucking works, huh?
It's a fucking boat.
Fucking works. All right, man.
Yeah.
We're keeping it. It's 2019. 20 years later.
We made one.
I think now they're finally changing it up. Are they?
I think they have like 2 or 3 different title tools in there, but no one ever. I like they have Title Tool Marquee and then their new like Title Creator Pro or something like that. And I never use anything other than Title Tool.
Yeah, because it's the best.
Yeah. Whenever I see someone who uses Marquee, I get really upset.
Yeah, me too.
Like, why would you do this? Like, what fucking possessed you
to use this? Animal uses this. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
It's bootleg Photoshop.
Yeah. What's your fucking deal? Yeah, it's MS Paint.
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
Yeah, you have to save by hitting like Shift B. Yeah. Like a fucking animal. Like, who fucking thought Shift B was going to be the save? You know? It always makes sense.
This feels good.
This feels right.
This feels right.
Yeah. This is for the bin. I'm like, fuck you.
And then Adobe's like, hey, guess what? We got Photoshop.
Oh, that's the best part, actually. It's like kicking stuff out to Photoshop, After Effects, you know? Man.
Yeah, I need to learn After Effects more than ever.
I've been telling you I can teach you for years.
Yeah, can you teach me?
I can teach you. You're my Padawan.
Yeah, because like more and more, well, here's the other thing is that Premiere is everywhere now. More and more people are using it, and I'm kind of nervous for Avid.
Yeah,
but you got to know After Effects these days. It's kind of wild.
Oh, yeah.
Like assistant editors are becoming more visual effects people.
Well, yeah, I think the VFX AE and the AE title are kind of interchangeable at this point.
Yeah,
like I know plenty of people who do both.
Yeah,
and you know, it's just is what it is. At my last show, I had to do VFX.
Yeah, like my my editor, my past show, he was kind of like, yeah, like they'll call you a VFX editor, but that's basically the assistant editor now. Yeah, which is wild to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they should pay that person more money.
Well, it's weird because I had a couple shows back. I worked on. That's right. I said a couple shows back, bro. No. But a couple shows back.
Back in my day.
Yeah. My buddy of mine was working as the VFX AE, and really he was the I guess you could say he was the visual effects editor, but because he had to deal with all he pretty much was he spent half his day making a spreadsheet, right? Like maybe a quarter of his day actually doing VFX, and the other quarter coordinating with the vendors. Yeah. So I'm like, he was pretty much doing the VFX.
Do you want to explain it?
VFX editor?
Yeah, that way we don't like just sound like we're just like going into lingo.
Yeah. So a VFX AE or editor on a show, or it generally happens on a show. It's not so much you have it on a movie, but that's a bigger movie, and they will have a VFX editor. But a VFX AE / editor on a show is a person. Anytime you usually see a TV screen or a computer screen on a TV show, it's a green screen usually, and they comp it in later. You know, what the fuck does comp mean?
I guess compensate.
Composition?
I don't know.
There's a word that we're missing here.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm gonna cut this out.
Yeah, we'll put it in there. We'll frang and bite it.
Yeah, but
composite shot.
Yeah. But they comp it in, so pretty much they just toss it in the screen after the fact. You'll have another VFX guy make the fancy computer screen or whatever it's going to be, and you throw that into the monitor. So the VFX AE / editor, they take the temp version and they build all that stuff out. So I was working on a TV show where they had a comp in like 15 monitors or like 10 monitors or something crazy like that. And this guy spent the entire day building it in After Effects. He tried an Avid. He showed me the Avid sequence, and it was the thickest layer. Stack. I was like, he's like, yeah, I just quit and put in After Effects.
He's like, fuck this.
Yeah. But that's what they do. They pretty much take all. So if you have a TV show, you do a rough edit, and then the VFX AE / editor will come in and say, okay, you need a news broadcast in this monitor, and he'll go create the news broadcast, out of stock footage, and just toss it in there, and then they'll go to producer's cut and director's cut, producer's cut, so on and forth, and then eventually the real VFX will come in.
Right. Yeah. Whatever vendor decides.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the nice thing about effects, I guess, is that you could still kind of have it a little fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. For the most part. I mean, like, it really depends on your editor, and the showrunner. Yeah. Depending on, because when it starts going out to the studio and the network, they sometimes they'll get a little more finicky about it.
Yeah, like, what is this? What's happening?
Yeah, like, why is this clipping or something like that?
Well, and you have to kind of like explain to them, well, listen, it's not
temp.
Yeah, it's temporary. And they're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Which is always blows my mind.
Make that shit look good. It's
Make it look good now. And you're like, oh,
yeah, like, well, I can spend 7 hours doing this if you want, or I can do the other litany of work I have to do.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's pretty. Also, like the VFX AE also has to deal with, like I said earlier, the vendors. So they pretty much like the first line of defense and the first line of communication with the show, the episode number, and then the showrunner and the VFX house. Mm-hmm. That's their job. A lot of spreadsheets. Not fun.
No, it's not.
No, it's not a good time.
No, spreadsheets are spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets. Fucking spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets are not fun.
No, they're not.
Especially with VFX because I'm particularly like movies where it's like nowadays I feel like it's like 70% of a movie is visual effects.
You'd be surprised. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Like
it's become so normal now.
It's mostly background extensions.
Yeah.
That's the weird part.
Yeah, or like the split image stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like there's just so much like minor detail work.
Yeah.
That goes into it.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, we could cheat the shot. We could do this. We could do that.
Yeah. What gets me too is beauty work. Beauty work is hilarious.
Beauty work?
You ever had that?
No. What's that?
All right. So beauty work is when you get like depending on the actor's age, or if it's a female actor. Yes, I have. Yeah, they'll go in and like they'll paint out a wrinkle.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole separate VFX list of shit. Well, it's not separate; it's part of the VFX list. Yeah. But you just see this beauty work.
It blows my mind that people do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to do one for an episode of the show on a pimple on the back of the guy's neck.
Really?
I thought it was a mole. You wouldn't even, no one even knew it was a pimple unless you knew the guy's neck intimately.
Which the editor and the assistant editor did.
No, that was a call from on high. They were like, "Hey, look, he's got a pimple in the back of his neck. Clear it out." Mm. I mean, the editor looked at each other like, "Wait, I thought that was a mole. Like that was just part of his neck."
Yeah, the past show I did, actually, it's so funny you mentioned beauty work. They had me take like screenshots.
Yeah.
Of the main guy. Uh-huh. And it had to be like 10 different emotions that he portrays in the show.
Yeah.
And like I just sent it out to the network.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this for? And they're like, oh, they want to look at his face. And they didn't really explain it to me. And then eventually that's how they said, oh, they want to look at his face. I'm like, all right. Whatever. Okay. Fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
And then eventually the coordinator was like, well, this is what's going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was it beauty work?
It's beauty work. They want to make sure the blemishes and all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
he's a younger guy.
He's a young dude. Yeah. He's fine. But it's wild that, like that's taken into consideration. Like it's not handled on set.
Right. Like a makeup thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Well, not always. Recently, I just found this thing out.
Yeah. I know it was a couple shows. One of the shows I did before. Mm-hmm. It was a longer 24 episode run. Mm-hmm. So what was really funny about that when it comes to beauty work is that at the beginning of the show, in the first like 12 episodes or something like that, everybody's still pretty fresh from their hiatus. Yeah. So everyone looks great. No one looks tired. The back 12 is when it gets really funny because then you start seeing people with bags because they're doing like late night shoots and shit. They're all fucking tired. They're like, I don't know how many, like 6 months worth of like work in front of like on them. They're super tired.
Yeah. And
all of a sudden, all the VFX lists start coming in. And it's like, get rid of the bags. Get rid of the bags.
Yeah, get rid of that shit.
Yeah, and get rid of the flyaway hairs. Fuck, man.
Yeah, come on, dude. They just look like that. Come on.
Yeah. Well, when you're working on certain shows, it's like they gotta have a aesthetic.
After Effects. Now this is turning into Avid versus Premiere versus After Effects.
Well, it's known as Avid and Premiere and how they suck After Effects.
Yeah.
It's like how much we need it. Like fuck.
Oh man.
Yeah, they're not even talking about like Flame or anything like that. That's a whole other
animal.
Yeah,
that's more commercial stuff.
No, they use it. They're using it like my last show, I think.
Really?
Yeah, to get rid of those like flyaways and beauty work.
That's gotta be a good program to learn.
Yeah, it's really hard though.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It's hard to get your hands on.
Yeah, graphics are complicated.
Yeah.
And what's weird is that back in the day, Avid was more like Flame.
Was it?
Yeah. Like they were not. It wasn't an easy program to pick up.
Avid, it still isn't.
It's what's crazy is that now it's so much easier.
Oh yeah.
Than it was back. So back in the day, like I wanted to learn Avid in college. Mm-hmm. But this is when Final Cut was a thing and it was cheaper.
Oh yeah.
So like in college, if I wanted to learn an editing software, and like the industry standard, quote unquote, you want to learn Avid.
Mm-hmm.
They had Final Cut everywhere, so that didn't really help me.
Right.
Fortunately, my sister worked as a producer.
Oh yeah.
So like, she would, she'd be like, hey, the assistant editor is cool showing you some stuff if you want to come by at like 4 in the fucking morning. So there were days, because it wasn't often. So it was always like a different night assistant or something. Yeah. And I would just like kind of stop by and like, this is how you do tapes. Like they would show me how to like load footage, which is that's not even a thing anymore.
Yeah. Remember that shit?
Yeah. You have to fucking load tapes and the evolution, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
It's disgusting.
You know what? I prefer much more to do the tape thing than what we do today.
Why? Because it would be like a guaranteed night of doing nothing.
Yeah, it's a combination of that. It's like guaranteed you're just flipping tapes.
Yeah,
and then you kind of hang out.
Yeah.
Whereas today it's like we need it's like we need this right now. We need this right now.
Yeah.
Whereas tape work, while there was a sense of urgency, it like they understood that you have to get this done first.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's not like
I see what you're saying.
It's not a digital thing. So now it's because everything's so fast and digital. Everyone's expecting a whole like days of footage done in half a day to load it in and start like syncing the audio to the video and sending it out for the editors. Yeah.
Well, you had a weird workflow on that show because like most of the stuff I worked on, it's usually the dailies get kicked off to like Technicolor and then they do the sync.
Right.
And then the daily, and then we just get the MXF files.
I mean, I hope that's what happens in this show. The next one I'm going to.
Yeah. But I don't think it is. I think you're pulling. I think
I'm doing it myself. Yeah. The sound of it was like, well, you're gonna be the guy that's transcoding footage, and then I hope I want a media manager.
It's not for that. It sounds like for the job you're going to. It sounds like that's gonna be a key,
a part of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of preferred someone else to do that stuff these days. And then I could just concentrate on like preparing projects for the editor. Because that's the person. So as an assistant editor, especially on scripted stuff, I feel like the most important thing is to appease your editor more than anyone.
That's your job.
That's your fucking job.
That's your job. Yeah.
But there's always people who are going to pull you to the side because they need whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the people that you're going to work for and the people who you're going to work with and the people you're going to learn from are editors.
Yeah.
If that's the direction you want to take. So for me, they're my priority always, as particularly in scripted.
Yeah.
Unscripted, it's not like that at all.
Yeah. Docs and reality kind of become a different beast because then you're kind of like, you're generally separated from you're
in a box.
Yeah. Because you have your editors. So like in scripted, you're a team. It's like you and your editor, and that's a team.
Yeah, it's the Mario Luigi thing.
Yeah, and you're always Luigi.
You're always or Toad.
No, I was going to say Yoshi.
Yeah,
I'd say your post soup is like Yoshi.
Your post soup Yoshi.
Yeah. But in a documentary, especially a documentary, because I've had recent experiences with this. It's usually you have a crew of editors, and then you and potentially another AE are just kind of like grinding away at whatever materials in front of you, and then
you're just preparing footage.
Yeah, you're just preparing footage, and maybe sometimes you'll do actual edit work. But also, a big difference between documentary and scripted is the amount of actual editing you do as an AE. Yeah, you do a lot of scene work, audio work. Usually putting a lot of sound effects or music beds or that kind of thing.
Depends how much the editor trusts you.
That's true. But versus documentary where it's like you're pretty much just dealing with
zero.
You're loading footage.
You're a loader.
Yeah.
And that's the big
and that fixing
is the
problems.
What's that?
and fixing problems.
And fixing problems. Yeah. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
You're there to load footage. You're there to prepare footage for the editor. And you're there to make sure their project's good.
Yep.
And then you're exporting whatever you're doing at the end of the day.
Yeah, and organization. A lot of organization.
Yeah.
It's not.
Whereas scripted, you actually learn how to be an editor, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a lost art these days.
Yeah, I think especially like I've been really lucky to work with the editors I've worked with because they've all taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Especially my last editor, he was fucking great.
Yeah.
But when you work in like other fields, you're a tech guy. When you're working in docs, it's like you're a tech guy.
Yeah, you're a glorified Avid tech.
Yeah, pretty much.
Premier tech, whatever
it is. Yeah.
Yep.
And primarily just, in both jobs you have to organize.
Yeah.
But in scripted, everyone sees like the slate, it's like scene 5, take 3, that's organization already. It's already beginning there.
Yeah.
So when you get the material, obviously, this, I'm talking to you, but
No, you were talking openly about
a general audience.
Yeah.
It begins there, and you can organize bins, which are essentially folders, based on that. Whereas with doc, it's like, so we shot this on Tuesday, and we shot from like 3 to like 9.
I don't know.
Yeah, the audio's the audio guy forgot to put time code in, so it just all starts at 0. And
yeah, fucking good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, and we shot 5 days like that. Bye.
Yeah, bye. It wasn't just this day. I lied. It's the whole week.
It's the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And then you got to send a really shitty email at the end of the week.
Yeah. You're like, yes, okay.
Yeah.
You generally that actually happened to me, by the way.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
When I was in reality, it happened all the time.
Oh,
it's usually like
reality is a whole other fucking.
That's a whole other ballgame. But like that first 2-3 days of shooting, they'll always send you everything fucked up, and then you kind of have to send an email or like talk to your both really.
Yeah.
You like talk to your supervisor, send an email, copy your supervisor on the email.
Yep.
Be like, hey guys, this is the workflow that we need.
Yep.
And then they don't do it.
Yep.
And then you have to keep like pushing for it until someone eventually goes, all right. And then, or you have to be a weird passive aggressive person.
Right.
And like just slow down your work altogether.
I'll just stop. Yeah.
And
I've done that.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Admittingly. And like just be like, whoa, what's taking so long? Well, the field's kind of making my job harder.
Yeah.
And then eventually one of the higher ups will be like, hey guys, can you just listen to this person and do it that way?
Yeah.
It's weird.
I've had to do all of those in one actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I was working on a show and they were halfway through shooting and they had already like kind of jacked up that. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to my post soup. Actually, I shouldn't say I talked to my post soup. I got some new material in. I had a nervous breakdown, a violent nervous breakdown where I actually like pushed myself away from my desk and I'm like, and he sat like right behind me. So I pushed up myself towards him and I look at him and I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill somebody in production if we don't fix this right now. And he's like, oh, okay, cool.
He's like, yeah, totally. Just get it out. Get it out of your system.
Yeah, he comes over to my desk and he's like, so what's wrong? And I just go through like the list of problems.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. Well, fuck.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's something that comes with age.
Yeah.
Like, I remember it was like maybe 3 years ago. And I did
which one?
The job that we worked together.
Oh, right. Okay. No, that's like 5 years.
Not the daytime show.
The other one.
The other one.
Should we say the name? We can.
I don't know. I don't know if it's appropriate.
I think we can do anything that's not scripted. We can say the names.
Yeah, sure.
So we're not going back there.
Yeah, but I don't like to talk bad about people or.
Yeah, I don't want to shit anybody.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it vague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
just do not go on our IMDb's.
Well, fuck it. Like, this is generic enough. I did one of the Real Housewives shows.
Yeah. Those are fun.
That was a good time. I did a season 1, and it was.
We should explain what a season 1 is like.
Yeah. So season 1 tends to be the hardest thing on planet Earth, especially in reality. Mostly because no one knows the identity of the show yet.
Yeah.
And things like reality or documentary or docuseries, I guess, they're figuring it out in post. So they're just shooting everything. They're shooting moments. They're just trying to catch whatever they can catch on the camera. And then you start building a story in post-production. So the assistant editor is involved in all of that. And like...
Yeah, begrudgingly.
Usually. Yeah, but you're not part of the creative aspect of it. You're more in the technical side of it. So you're stringing out scenes, which means like What I mean by that is you get your video, get your audio, you sync them so they, you could hear what that person's saying. And then literally the entire day of footage, you string it out like from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, pretty much you take, so when anything is shot, they'll shoot, let's say 10 minutes at a time or 20 minutes at a time or 30 minutes at a time. And they usually shoot that in the time of day. So if they start shooting at 9 o'clock, they'll shoot at 9, they'll shoot again at 12, they'll shoot again at 2, 4, 6, and 8, let's say. Stringing it out means the poor AE has to go through all of that, put it all together, and then say, okay, here's all the pertinent footage from
this day.
Yeah, from 11, they shot from 9 to 10. So here's the 30 minutes of pertinent footage that's not a cameraman just walking around.
Just shaking the camera or sitting there or whatever it is.
Yeah.
These are moments in the show.
Which will end up eventually being like 4 or 5 hours of material sometimes.
Yeah. Or like literally just a segment on an episode. And you hand it off to a producer, or like in reality, it's usually a story producer.
Yeah.
And they'll watch the stuff down and they'll watch whatever you give them the string out. And they'll start cutting it even more.
Yeah.
Like to just moments that they're like, oh, there's drama here, or there's a story here, or we could put a story together from this moment at this time versus that time. And they just keep building stuff. And that's particularly hard on a season 1 because, again, they don't know what the show is. Yeah,
they have no idea. This is not a knock on anybody, but they literally just have no idea what they're doing. Yeah,
they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And like it's like the network and the production company are kind of just figuring this thing out, and they want to make a good show for everyone to watch. Yeah. Because they want to keep making that show. They want to go season 2, season 3. So it's like you could imagine that process. Like, you're cutting down a string out that the Cincinnati makes. The editor gets it. He jazzes it up, as I like to say. Jazz hands. Yeah. Adds music. Puts music underneath. He fucking throws sound effects where the emotion allows it to be. And
usually that sound effect is just
yeah, it's a cymbal swell.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. That bitch said what? Dun 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 dun. Emotional shot. Not emotional shot. Was it like the look shots?
Oh yeah, the reaction shot.
Yeah, reactions.
Yeah. She said what?
Everyone's awkwardly looking around.
Yeah.
And then you send that off to the network, and the network's like, well, we don't like this. Or we like this part of it. Or whatever. Yeah. And then they'll kick it back. And then you just find more moments in that scene from the string out. You go, well, let's try this. And this just goes on for like, I would say 9 months.
For a first season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's forever. It
feels endless.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the season, everyone's kind of exhausted, but happy that they made a thing.
Yeah.
And then you hope to God you could do it again in a couple of months.
No, and a lot of the stress of that is also mitigated or exacerbated by the house you're working for, the production house. So like there's some houses that like are very well aware of the stresses a show creates, and then there's some houses that don't give a fuck.
They don't care. They don't give a shit.
You better be in that chair all fucking day.
Yeah, they don't care.
I'll get you a shit bucket.
It's like South Park.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
He shits in the fucking bucket while he's playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but that's essentially the workflow for reality.
Yeah. I forgot why we were talking about that. There was a reason behind that.
I feel like we're just going down the rabbit hole of just workflows in general. Yeah. So this is a real interesting. If you're in post, this is interesting. If you're not in post, this may be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, this might be cool for you. Yeah. I'm not sure.
No, if you really want to understand how a movie or a TV show is made, this is pretty, on the post side, this is pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Just like the surface.
Let's just keep going. Fuck it. Let's go to docs. When docs are really similar to reality in that way.
Yeah, they're similar.
Yeah, where I think the difference between like a doc and reality is mainly ego. I mean, like, I'm sorry. It's true.
Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. Yeah. The reason why we brought up reality.
Yeah.
Or the workflow of reality for an assistant editor.
Right.
We were talking about like the anger management aspect of it from an assistant editor, and like these kind of things, especially when you're younger in the game, or you're like not younger, but like it's your first or second or third year, or you could be younger too.
Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like there's these moments where you're like, I don't understand why this is not, because it's an assistant editor in reality is such a technical, logical.
it's
very technical.
Yeah.
So it's like your thing is done, it's gone forever. That's how, well, not gone forever. It'll come back. Yeah. But it'll come haunting. Fucking Dracula floating his way to you. But like, it'll come back. But like for a logical person, which is that job, things just kind of happen and you have to like roll with it. But at such a young aspect, and when you're at such a young part of your career as an assistant editor. Inexperienced. Yeah. Inexperienced. Yeah. You just kind of like, you're like, what the fuck? And you just freak out over a moment, or you just don't show that. Right. And I think for me personally, I had a moment for one production office where I was just like, I was sick of it. Yeah. And like, I almost quit altogether. Yeah, man.
You can tell me which one it is. I'll bleep it if anything.
It was fucking.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was ready to fucking quit. Yeah. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this job. Yeah. But like, it looking back at it, like I'm happy that I did a horrible job. Not that hold on, I'm not happy that you
worked on a horrible job.
Thank you. Okay. And like, it made me learn to kind of like roll with the punches. Yeah. And not care as much, I guess. Yeah. Because I used to care a lot when I was younger. Yeah. And now it's like I still care a lot. Right. But I understand that there's you leave at a respectable time. Right. Yeah. And if it's their problem. And
there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, you're a human being. Like at the end of the day, you could fucking leave the office.
Well, I think a lot of that is also kind of like predicated on the industry itself. Like there's kind of a weird, like, it's not weird. It's actually very common in a lot of industries, but it's you work until you can't kind of thing.
And I don't think that's okay.
No, it's not really healthy. I was the same way as you, and I did it for a long time too. I had a whole thing where
me and Jim became friends because of our anger. Towards fucking working like dogs.
Yeah. And we worked on a show that so me and Jimmy met on a show 6 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. It's a long time ago.
It was a while ago, yeah. And pretty much he was replacing another AE.
Yeah, fantastic guy.
Yeah, great guy. He actually Alex.
Alex.
He does the intro. He's the man.
Welcome to the postcast.
Yeah, he's the man with the wonderful voice who does our intro. He's also an AE. He's still working.
Yeah. He's awesome.
He's great. But he was replacing Alex, and essentially he was walking into a shit show. Yeah. It was a great show. Everyone who worked on it was really fantastic. Great. Yeah. But essentially it was kind of like a 12-hour day was like minimum. Yeah. For a day. Yep. And we both pretty much spent a lot of time. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of drinking after work to commiserate and kind of just forget the prior, 12 hours.
Yeah. A lot of that. Yeah. A lot of like stress relieving. Yeah. Through alcohol.
Yeah. A lot of big
I'm not calling it alcoholism.
Air quotes.
Air quotes.
Yeah. Air quotes stress relief. But yeah, no, that's how we met. And
I learned a lot of editing through that show too, by the way.
It was a good show for that. Yeah. A lot of great editors on that.
No, well, not the editors. I didn't learn editing from the editors. I learned editing from one editor.
Oh yeah.
One particular guy.
Q.
Mr. Q.
Q. Yeah.
And I learned how to edit comfortably because I was yelled at every morning.
Right.
So, which is a weird experience to have, but like once it's weird. You do a job like that, you get yelled at in the morning, like every day for like, what?
It was like a year.
It was like a year.
It was a year, yeah.
And you just roll with it after a while. You're like, yeah, all right. And there's this person, they have their thing or they're stressed out. Yeah. Like you kind of like see it from their side.
Sure.
I don't want to call it Stockholm syndrome, but
a little bit like Stockholm.
It's a little bit. But
the whole job was a little bit like Stockholm.
It was.
Yeah.
And you kind of try to see it through their eyes. Yeah. But I gotta say, like after that experience, I sat in chairs like as an assistant editor, like a nighttime assistant editor, where like people were like, "Hey, can you edit this fucking thing?" And no one's got to know. Right. Like I'll sit next to like a producer who's trying to rush something out, and I could comfortably do it while they're sweating buckets,
right?
And like aggressively telling me their ideas,
right?
Because of that whole experience. And I just I'm just like, yeah, sure, man. And once you're relaxed, they kind of calm down a little bit.
That's true.
So it's like it's this real, again, the hardest stressful jobs that I've had have made me better in the long run.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, because it's, especially if you take it as a learning experience,
right.
It's really good.
At the time, you don't. At the time, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was funny because the job I had after that was, so in reality shows, they have this title called junior editor.
Oh, God.
Which is not, just a little note to any AEs or editors listening to this out there. Or if you're an editor, you don't need to hear this. But if you're an AE and you're coming up, that's not a real title.
No, it's not.
Junior editor is a fucking made up title that reality houses somehow fucking figured out that, you know, you basically do an editor's job
for cheap
and you just get paid like an assistant editor. But anyway, so I didn't know that at the time. So I took the junior editor job and it was really good because my editor like wasn't there ever. I cut the entire show.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
And you learned how to like be an editor on the show.
Yeah, I learned how to be an editor on the show because that editor, pretty much the guy, I started the job. He was on vacation for 2 weeks, my first 2 weeks there, and they needed a cut.
Yeah, so you kind of like just had to do it.
So I had to cut all the acts. I put everything together. And this fucking guy shows up like 2 weeks later and he's like, oh yeah, cool, man. So great. So great. I saw your cut. It's good. It's good. It's good.
It's good stuff.
Can you come in at 6? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't want to fucking come in at night.
And he just roll up and he just give you like notes, right? Like he would just have markers on the sequence.
He would have like, I sent you a picture of it. I wish I still had it.
Yeah, it was
like
great.
A solid 100 markers.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, just do all this shit for me.
Yeah. And so like the first night I was like, okay, whatever. I rolled in. I'm like, okay, cool. He's got a bunch of work. He's been doing stuff.
Yeah.
So as I'm going through the markers, I realized that he hasn't touched a fucking thing in the sequence that I cut.
Yeah.
Over
It's
the
just
past
markers
2 weeks.
everywhere.
It's just markers for me to do more of my own work, but at night. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
It's a producer.
Yeah, pretty much. Because at that point I had been working with the producer for the 2 weeks prior, and she really liked me, but apparently now I'm like, fucking no. But anyway, so I was working, and by the third night of me coming in at night, I realized, because I was watching the sequences down, he actually wasn't making any changes, but he would just keep adding markers for me to make all the changes that he had come up with.
Yeah.
So I was doing like visual effects passes for these transitions, and I was doing fucking edit notes, and I was like, he's like, can you find and cut in like just reaction, but like, see, like real shit,
like real notes,
And like, I'm like, so I got in early one day, and he's like sitting there, he's like really looking like he's working really hard.
Yeah.
I get in
working those notes hard,
right? I get in, and he changed 4 tracks of music. That was the only changes he made in a fucking 10-hour day. Sorry, I'm racking on this dude really hard, but luckily, anyway, long story short, he ends up quitting the job.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I ended up quitting very soon thereafter.
Yeah, because you were like, I mean,
I was supposed to get. I thought I was going to get the jump to editor on the episode, and they ended up just bringing in some other dude.
Yeah,
like,
you should have said something.
I did.
You told them like, hey, I'm editing the show.
Oh no, I did. I told him. I told the post soup like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, hey man,
I'm cutting the show.
What is this?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, and he quit. And I'm like, all right, dude, I've been cutting the show. Like, just give me the bump.
Give me the bump.
And they're like, oh yeah, and he brought somebody else.
No.
I was like, okay. I'm like, all right. Okay.
And then you're like, all right, fuck this.
Yeah. I forget what I left for, but I left for something else. I left for Duart.
Yes.
I left for Duart.
You did Pokemon.
Pokemon. Good
Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Where was I around that time? I'm trying to remember. I was at that place. Ish.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love that place though.
I fucking love that place.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't know what it's like now, but like at the time, it was really fucking cool to work there. Only because they're such a small company.
Yeah.
That they just wanted to pitch everything, and they were cool with taking chances with yours. When I say taking chances, give the assistant editor stop the cut.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it was really cool people there. Yeah. Like, I can't say enough good things about that place, really. No. I was doing a show called The Approval Matrix. It's on Sundance, the Sundance channel.
Right on. Yeah. Yes, I remember that now.
With Neil Brennan.
Yeah.
That dude's hilarious.
Really?
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. You've done a lot of comedy stuff, actually.
Yeah.
You've been lucky with that.
Yeah, that's like the majority of my career.
Yeah. I get stuck with dramas and shit.
Yeah, you get stuck with like the really serious, like moody shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, let's fucking talk about poop.
Yeah.
Let's talk about poop.
I'm going home depressed every day and shit.
40 minutes today. Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
yeah. Awkward comedy. All right. Like it's, oh my God. And I hope I keep doing shit like that. Like I want to become that editor, which is, it's either like, there's two options I want as an editor. If I ever get the, I hope I do.
It'll be fine.
I'm gonna eventually it'll happen. I
yeah.
think I just have to get a little more aggressive with it. But
Yeah.
like I want to do either like two genres, like two genres and scripted. So it's very specific, and I'm being kind of annoying about it.
Oh, that's
like
fine.
I want to do comedies, and fucking horror. That's where I want to sit.
That's a good one.
I think that's a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
I think like comedy is just so.
It's timing based.
It's timing based, and like
so it's horror actually.
What's that?
Both horror and comedy are very heavy on timing.
No, that's why I want to. Yeah, that's why I want to do it so much because like so much of it comes from post production.
Yeah,
like from the edit, and you get to fucking collaborate with like a real like funny people.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Nah, that shit's not good," or like, or that shit's really funny, and it's a good time, or really complicated. It depends. But like so far, every comedy that I worked on,
good time,
dude, is fucking great. It was like it was never. Like I think I said it to you the other day.
Yeah.
Like,
probably.
Maybe. I forgot who said it to me. It was one of these comedy shows I worked on. They were like, if you're fucking miserable doing a comedy show,
oh, you told me this, yeah.
Then you're not doing it right. You know? Yeah. Like it's at some point it's gonna stop being funny because everyone's working on it for so long. Yeah. But it's still like a good show. And
right.
You should, and you're aware of that.
Can you mention that show now?
Not yet. It's coming out in 2 weeks, so afterwards I'll mention it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Which I love. I hope it becomes big because
I think it will be.
Yeah,
they're promoting it a lot.
It's got a poster.
Really?
Times Square.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, like a giant.
That's awesome.
Poster. Yeah.
Wow. Actually, I think you can mention it because by the time this will come out, this will be this is coming out 6 weeks from now.
Right. Well, the experiences I'm talking about right now don't reflect this show, but the show is called Rami.
Rami, do you want to stay alone forever?
Mom, you can't just walk up to a Muslim girl and like start spitting game or something. What am I supposed to say? Like, hey, can I get your father's number?
Yes, why not?
It's on Hulu, April 19th.
Yep.
I think. That sounds right.
It'll be out by then.
It'll be out.
By the time this comes out, the show will be out.
It's out.
Yeah.
It's out in April.
Sorry.
We both got shocked. Who's that?
Oh, this wasn't even like a real text. This is like a text from like this app that I'm on. That gives me like recommendations for records. That's all it does. It interrupted our podcast so hard.
It really did. Well, when that happened.
Oh, yours went off too?
Yeah, I got a text. So I'm just, and it's so serious. I'm just texting someone, "Don't shit yourself." Nice. I literally just texted someone that.
Nice.
Anyway, Rami, good show.
Yeah,
great show to work on.
Trailer looks
fucking
good.
Awesome people.
Yeah.
Trailer was fantastic. Like everything about it's so cool, and it's like a young team.
Yeah.
Like we were all just kind of figuring it out as we went along.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I hope it does good. Like it was really fun.
You know,
it was a good experience.
I think it will. I mean, like I saw the trailer and like there was in the trailer there's that one joke where it's like I'm going out.
I'm going out.
Does anyone even care where Rami goes? You guys never ask him where he is.
He just told me he's going out.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
He literally gave you no information.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Habibi.
And like that whole it's anyway. I don't want to ruin the show because like you guys can watch it, but yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I worked on one comedy. I worked on one comedy that the art of self-defense.
Why karate?
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of other men. They intimidate me. I want to be what intimidates me. I want to be.
This question's multiple choice. A, health and fitness. B, career opportunities. C, New Year's resolution. D, self-defense / traumatic experience.
What if it's none of the above?
Should I read the choices again?
No, that's okay. A, health and fitness.
Yeah, so that came out recently.
I was like, can we talk about it?
We can talk about it. Yeah, because it came out on not Sundance, South by Southwest already.
Cool.
So that's already out.
Nice.
I don't know when it's coming out, but I know it played at South by Southwest already.
Nice.
That was fun. That was a really fun experience. I got to go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
That was a really good time.
Went to Louisville.
Louisville, Kentucky. Lived there for a month and a half.
Yeah.
About a month and a half.
That sounded awesome.
Dude, it was it was great because I never, so, you know, being in post, you never really get to be on set very often.
Yeah.
You know, usually you're just kind of stuck in a room somewhere.
Yep.
I was stuck in a room, but it was a hotel room.
Yeah. You were there. You were in the field.
Yeah. And luckily I got to go to set every day and I got to meet the cast and I got to meet a lot of people there. And it was fun. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
Louisville's a really, if you live in Louisville or get the experience to go to Louisville, it's a real good time.
Yeah.
The bars close at 4. The only place in Kentucky that closes at 4, I think.
It's only Louisville?
It's only Louisville, yeah. Louisville. And it was a real good time.
Nice.
And the experience, and it was fun working. It was really weird because it was like, I've worked from home before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always really interesting because you wake up and you get your coffee and you just kind of sit at your desk. This was the same thing, but in a hotel room, which had this whole weird, like almost like rock star quality to it, where I'd wake up.
I had a similar experience to this.
Right, because you were on.
I don't think it's out yet.
Yeah,
actually, maybe I should text the director. Anyway,
you know what? Mention it, and if you mention it, and then if anything, I'll believe it.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just gonna talk around it, like the experience.
Oh, okay, fine.
But like, I did a movie in Cape Cod. It was 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And my experience was very different compared to yours. Like you were in a hotel, you got to go to set. I was allowed to go to set. I decidedly, I made a decision not to go to set.
Why?
Well, mostly because, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I was doing, some like assembly audits.
Oh, right.
They didn't ask me to do this.
Right.
I want to stress that. I was doing it out of my shit.
Your own interest.
Yeah. I wanted to learn how to edit, and I felt this was a good opportunity.
Right.
To like cut a movie, like with footage that's being shot that day.
Right.
Like I'm setting up dailies and sending them out, but like this is something I could do in the meantime.
Well, this was also like your first scripted.
This was my first. Yeah.
Scripted. So like, I mean, it makes sense. You know, we're excited to do that. It's not like, you know, no one asked you to do it. So yeah, you're fine.
And it was a horror movie. And what made it really fun was that, well, this part was, I lived with the director, the assistant director, and the DP.
Yeah.
Very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting cats. Like they were really cool people.
Right.
Really cool people. Very opinionated.
Yeah.
And it was my first movie, so like my first scripted thing. So in my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, you were stoked though.
I was so fucking happy to do
I will also say too that you came back with a ballin' beard.
Did I?
That big beard was thick.
I did. Well, I was a hermit. I was a hermit for 3 weeks. So like I stayed. All right. So we stayed in a big ass fucking house in Cape Cod, and every day it was either like daytime or nighttime. These guys would shoot. So they were like, "All right, Jamie, peace."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, later." And I had my whole setup in the living room.
Yeah.
So I would wait for like a coordinator or whoever.
Yeah.
And they would just give me a drive and I would just start setting stuff up and just going.
Yeah.
And there were nights like where they're shooting and it would be like 5 or 6 in the morning and I'm alone in this fucking big ass house in the middle of like nowhere. Middle of fucking nowhere. So there were moments where I was just like terrified for my life. But especially when you're doing a horror movie, like that shit's it's like stirring in your head.
You're just watching horrible shit. So you're like, oh fuck.
You're just like, oh, someone's gonna kill me.
Yeah, someone's gonna
but yeah, dude, it was a great time. Like I would edit and I would show the director and like for me it was the cool thing about editing is like maybe someone could agree to this, maybe they won't. I don't have too much experience editing, but the reactions the director. Like I would love to see how the director would react to assembly edits.
Yeah.
Just like if they laughed at something or if they were like, if they looked disappointed in something.
Right.
Or, like there's a stir of emotions going because they're fucking, that's their thing. That's their project.
Yeah.
So you watch them go through these things and you're immediately, you'd start doing mental notes.
Right. Yeah.
But that was the thing that always like, I would show this guy like a scene and he would like giggle at something or to a reaction or whatever it was. So for me, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You were hitting the right notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to stay away from set because I came right out of a program. Like, so it was my first scripted thing.
You can mention the program, right?
The Edit Center. Yeah. Fantastic place. Yeah. And one of the things that I learned was like editors tend to stay away from set.
Right.
Because they don't want to have a biased opinion on a shot. And the reason why they say that is because let's say there's a giant crane shot and it's like, I don't know, $10,000
Sure.
for that one shot.
Yeah.
The fucking editor, if he's there on set and he's watching this, he's gonna go, oh, maybe I should put that in.
Right.
But if you're away and like you look at the shot from an unbiased view and the shot fucking sucks, you're not gonna use it.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's funny because I was watching a video yesterday, an interview with Thelma Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker, right? We had this conversation before.
Schoonmaker.
Whatever. And well, I shouldn't say whatever, but it's really important. But
she'll find
Thelma.
out.
Let's go with Thelma.
Yeah, let's go with that.
And she was talking about that actually, about going on set or going on set versus not going on set. And it was the same opinion. It was you don't want to be biased by what you're seeing.
Right.
And that's it. That's all I have for that. I just wanted to back you up with the fact that people say this. Yeah,
people say it. Yeah, man. And that was like, and I was still in even this was only like 2 years ago, but like mentally I was like in quote unquote film school mode.
Right.
So like for me it was like, oh, I gotta fucking do it like this. This is the right way to do it.
Right.
Now I'm starting to learn how to roll with punches.
Yeah.
I worked on movies where the director the director's either very opinionated or you could tell they're like, again, this is their baby, this is their project, so they could be emotional about it, and you have to kind of not push your opinion a little too much, like not push your opinion, but like just don't be strongly opinionated, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean,
just be like it's good, good footage, like it's not your fucking problem as an assistant editor.
Yeah, it's more the editor's issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I worked on 2 comedies. What am I saying?
What else did you work on?
To Dust.
Oh yeah, that shit's fucking funny.
That's funny.
Yeah,
it's dark as fuck, but it's funny.
Really funny.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So I have worked on comedies, but that one. So I guess even the comedies I work on are kind of fucked up.
Yeah, they're super fucked up.
Yeah. Even the Art of Self-Defense is
dark,
funny, right? But it's dark as fuck.
Yeah.
It's funny as fuck, but it's dark as fuck.
There's another jiu-jitsu movie coming out. Did I tell you about this?
No.
The Nick Cage one?
No. Fuck.
So Nicolas Cage is doing a jiu-jitsu. I think it's called jiu-jitsu.
That's amazing.
And it's about he fights. I'm sorry. The premise is so fucking ridiculous. It's about this. I'm pretty sure he's like a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the movie.
Okay.
And he fights aliens.
Oh fuck yes!
In a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is what I didn't know I wanted this.
That's yeah.
And I texted. And side note, I do jiu-jitsu. And
I'm sorry, what's that again?
I do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And like I texted like all my jiu-jitsu friends this article. I'm like, why is this happening now? This should have happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to stories about post-production.
Yeah. But I guess, so we've hit...
I don't know.
We've hit...
honestly, we guys were just riffing.
Yeah. Well, we hit reality workflow, documentary workflow.
Scripted.
I said my one thing about that. Scripted workflow. I guess so. Yeah. So if anyone's interested, I mean, that's a big one.
That's a huge one.
That's the big one where everyone knows movies and TV.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into that real quick. It's actually pretty straightforward, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the most straightforward one of the 3.
I would definitely say it's the most straightforward, but it's definitely in its own world.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Also, wait, I just want to do one quick addendum before we move on to this. The show that me and Jamie met on. And the reason why it was so intense was because it was a live show.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So that changes up things a lot because the deadlines that you're talking about were like, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You have 20 minutes to get something ready for air, or, you have 2 hours depending, So sometimes you have the night before, but usually it's between 30 minutes and 2 hours.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What was the scariest thing that was ever said to you on that show?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No one. You had it way worse than I did.
I ate a lot of shit.
You
on
ate
the show.
Tons of shit on that show. I didn't. The person in question loved me for some reason.
Yeah, he really liked you.
I don't know why.
I think he liked me too.
He did like you,
but he was like, "Oh God, this fucking guy, he's so goddamn green," and it would like frustrate him. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
He liked me as a person, I think, but he was just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to communicate something to me and I just couldn't move fast enough.
Right.
Like I wasn't the robot he needed, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the most loving way.
That's fair. That's fair. I got hurt. I got annoyed a lot, but
you were frustrated all the time.
But that was mostly just a general. Because so on this, on that particular show, there was a lot of So the breakdown is you have like an executive producer, which is the boss. You have producers, and you have associate producers, otherwise known as APs. This show had a fucking just a ton of APs,
a Rolodex, if you will.
Yeah, and I want to say maybe 4 of the 20 knew what they were doing.
But it was wild, man, because like I feel like people were dropping like flies all the time in that show. Yeah. And there was a PA who was like young and hungry and like just willing to work. Yeah. And they were like, all right, you could be an AP right now.
Yeah, because the AP quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, or someone would get bumped to producer.
Right.
And they just needed people. They just need bodies.
Yeah.
It was, what a wild show.
I think by the end of that show, though, I think the issue was definitely by the end of that show, I was frustrated. Frustrated's not the right word.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah. No, because there was a point where like I had a kid. He was a kid. Came up to me. I was a kid at the time too.
It was a kid.
But he was much younger than I was. And he comes in, he was just promoted to AP because of what you were talking about.
I'm trying to remember this kid.
I'll explain it off air, but you'll know the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And this kid comes, sits in my cubicle, puts his feet up, and he's like, "So I need like," and I'm like, "Okay, stop. Just stop right now. I'm gonna take care of this, and I'm just gonna do this, and you're gonna be fine."
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what happened because he had no idea what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah, poor guy.
And I'm sure now he's very experienced.
I'm sure he's fantastic.
Yeah. But at the time, I was like, dude, just stop. I know what I'm doing.
Just fucking step off.
Stop. Because at this point, I had been on the show for 2 years.
Yeah.
And
you were a veteran.
It was Vietnam.
Yeah.
So, and this kid had just come on like 6 months earlier. So
dude,
I was like,
I will definitely say that was my Vietnam.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there were moments, I think I told you this.
Yeah.
Like I worked at one shop and there was a guy who had a similar voice to the creative director of the show.
Oh, really?
And he would do this. He would say hi to people the same exact way.
Oh, right.
He would.
Yeah.
So one day this guy came into my I had my own edit in this particular place.
Right.
And like he would come in and he would go, "Hey man," the same way. Hey man, and like creative director, he always like creep up behind me because we were in cubicles and he'd be like, "Hey man," and I knew that's like when the fucking fire was on, you know. So when this happened in the other show, I had shivers and I had a moment of like I wouldn't say fear, but pure terror. I was just like, oh god, no. I was like, oh no. Yeah. And I looked and like I was like
nervous.
I was nervous. Yeah. My heart was racing.
You would tell me. You'd hit me up on the chat.
I think I was like, Jesus Christ. I almost pissed myself. I was so nervous. And it was just like one of the APs on this documentary that I was working on. But yeah, man, that was definitely my Vietnam.
Yeah. I had another Vietnam after that. So I guess I had a Gulf War after Vietnam. Or whatever.
All the wars America won.
Yeah, whatever. The stalemates.
we're talking about the stalemates here.
Yeah. No, but I had one.
Gulf War.
Gulf War. Yeah. And it wasn't Gulf War. What was Operation fucking Attack Afghanistan? What was it called?
The one.
Because Gulf War was really easy.
It's like the one where we got Osama.
No, the one where we went to Afghanistan.
Oh.
Operation Tropic Thunder.
It was something like that. We always have the coolest names.
And we do have really good names.
I think it was Operation like Zero Dawn or something ridiculous.
That's really amazing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
I'm going to Google it. I'm going to fact check that shit.
You fact check. But whatever that operation was. When
we invaded Afghanistan.
It's like 2002, 2003. Right after 9/11.
Yeah. You keep going. I'm going to look it up.
Well, anyway. So yeah, I ended up having this job. Lovely job, and I'm really grateful for it. But it was really funny because the first week of that job, because I was coming in mid-season, and some other people had left, and so it was kind of just like, oh man, we need somebody right now. So I come in.
Oh shit! You ready for the name?
What's the name?
God, what? We come up with the best names. Yeah. So it was Operation Enduring Freedom.
Shit, that's really good.
The request was dismissed by the U.S. as a meaningless delay tactic, and it launched Operation Enduring Freedom on the 7th of October, 2001 with the United Kingdom.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That is a really good name.
Bad motherfuckers.
Yeah. So my Operation Enduring Freedom was was a TV show. It was actually my first scripted show, and fucking great show. The team I worked with was amazing. All the editors are fantastic.
Yeah.
The deadline though, because I was so it was a little rough, and it wasn't rough because of anything in particular. It was just that I was coming in mid-season, and I think they were half like midway through an episode, and me and the editor came on. And they just needed the episode immediately.
Yeah, it's done.
Just the way the timing worked out.
Right.
And I ended up spending a good solid just week living there. Like my first 2 weeks, I pretty much lived there.
Right.
And that was really about it. That was really the roughest part. But those 2 weeks left a fucking mark. I was like, oh shit.
You felt it.
Yeah. And it was also my first scripted anything.
Yeah.
So like it was an introduction to the scripted world.
Yeah.
Unlike any other, I assume. Or maybe people have had this before, but it was like I went directly from being an online editor at a reality house to this. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a whole other animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically to break down the scripted workflow for anybody who's interested. So when you get a movie or a TV show, especially a TV show, you get you start your days out. So pretty much what happens is the day before they'll shoot. That night they'll send it off to a post house to do to throw a LUT on it. A LUT is just pretty much color for the original camera footage.
Right.
Sync the audio, and then they'll send you the dailies the next day. So by the morning the next day, so if they shoot on a Monday, Tuesday morning you have dailies to work with to prep for your editor. From there, they edit. But they edit, and then it goes into director's cut and then producer's cut. So the way it breaks down is you have an editor's cut, which is the first cut of the dailies coming in. So you have dailies coming in, and the editor works as the dailies come in.
Right.
Then they get like a couple of extra days at the end of the shoot day. So a TV show generally shoots 8 to 10 days. And that's how. So every 45-minute episode of a show you watch, they shot that in 8 to 10 days. So hopefully you guys can appreciate a little bit more a wonderfully shot TV show.
Yeah.
Because it's done really quickly.
Yep. It's honestly, it's amazing.
It's fantastic.
Like the amount of planning, not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Like
you're good.
The amount of planning that goes into it, and then the execution of it. And then, there's a lot of times where there's reshoots, but like a lot of times there isn't.
Yeah.
You know,
there's no budget for that sometimes.
And it's just kind of incredible. Like the amount of work that goes into it before post.
Yeah. The pre-production is crazy.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
Particularly in scripted.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about reality documentary.
We moved on from reality documentary. This is solely in scripted, especially TV shows. Feature films are a whole other beast into themselves.
Whole other ballgame.
Yeah, but in a TV show, you have to really appreciate the fact that like they do that in a very quick turnaround. It's like I said, 8 to 10 days, and to shoot. So the thing is when they shoot a show or you get a script for a TV show, they're not 45 minutes long. You watch a TV show that's 45 minutes with commercials, so an hour with commercials, but 45 minutes content, or 42 minutes, depending on the show. But when you do the rough cut, the editor's cut that comes through of all the dailies cut directly to the script. So an editor's cut is pretty much the dailies that come in, they have the script and they match the script directly. There's no changes. It's exactly as the script goes.
Right.
And a lot of time that script will be, sometimes that script can be 55 pages, 60 pages, and
just huge,
a full hour.
Yep.
And they shoot that in, 8 to 10 days.
Yeah.
And then you have like amazing performances, amazing camera work, all that stuff done very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So then the next process after that is to go into director's cut. So directors from TV shows are a little bit different than a film. There's a different director per episode.
Right.
Usually. Unless you're David Fincher and you just do all of them.
And then you're just like, this is my movie.
Yes, this is my 12-hour movie.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just doing a whole season of a movie.
Yeah.
He's so
he's fucking crazy.
I kind of want to work with him.
Because
he sounds like such a madman.
I feel like you would learn the most you would ever learn.
Yeah. Seriously. Like it's anyway, that's got to be an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's him and the guy who did Soderbergh. Him and Soderbergh.
Soderbergh is so experimentative.
Oh yeah.
I would think I was telling you about this. Like there was this kid in Vancouver who wanted to shoot the short film.
Yeah.
And it immediately reminded me of Soderbergh.
Oh right. Yeah.
And I was like, I want to cut your film.
Right.
Like I don't care how old you are.
Yeah.
Like, I want to cut your film. And then we kept talking and like we lost contact.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Like, he was like, yeah, totally. I'll bring you on. And like I guess I don't know what happened, but
he'll hit you up in like 3 months.
Yeah, he's gonna hit me up when he needs help.
Yeah,
but like it got me really excited because he wants to shoot. Like he was like, I want to shoot on iPhones.
That's great,
and that's how Soderbergh does. Yeah, that's how he rolls. So
he shot that feature on an iPhone.
Yeah,
recently.
Yeah, the Unsane.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, like really weird.
Yeah.
When it gets weird and experimentative, I'm on board. I don't care how fucking hard it is. Like for me, that's like that's just unique. It's fun.
Well, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, I want to be in the place that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can really grow.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry. No, you're totally fine. But just getting back to that, just quick breakdown. Mm-hmm. So then your director comes in for 4 days. That's the DGA rules, the Directors Guild rules. They do their notes pass, and then after that, the producers come in. The producers get a pass, so like about a week. Send that to the studio. Then studio gets passed. And send that to the network. Network gets passed. Then you get a lock cut.
Yep. Lock
cut. So all of this, all these cuts and all this information that's kind of going back and forth, all of it goes through. I gotta fucking
dude, just turn it off.
I did.
So what's the beep? It's the computer.
It's my computer.
Oh well,
yeah,
we're fucked.
I can't do
you can't turn that off. Whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, back to
welcome to the show, beep.
Yeah, boop.
R2D2.
Yeah, I know, right. I'm gonna cut that in.
Yeah.
Every time a beep goes off, I'm just like cutting R2D2.
He's just cursing all the time.
Yeah. But all that stuff happens. So from shooting to the end of a lock happens in about 2 months.
Right.
Roughly. Give or take.
Yep.
So every TV show you watch is done in 2 months. Every episode of a show you watch is done in about 2 months. If it's a network show, usually.
Yeah.
If you're doing like a Hulu or a Netflix, then that's kind of all done at the same time. And you still have deadlines, but
it's a little. I don't want to.
You worked on that actually.
I worked on a Hulu show.
Yeah.
Very recently.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if we're gonna cut the Rami part out, but
that's fine because you can say a Hulu show.
Yeah. Yeah. Very recently, but like, it's similar to like a network show,
right?
Where you have the editor's cut, you got the director's cut, producer's cut, and then you have a network cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no studio cut. So
that's interchangeable. Sometimes if the network is the studio and the studio is the network,
right? Well, really and in this case it's Hulu,
right?
So it was pretty. Definitely say it was unique,
right?
In that sense,
yeah.
Because we did follow these rules,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you're delivering the whole thing in one shot,
right?
So if the network deemed a show like, hey, this just needs more time,
right?
Or we need reshoots for this, or this doesn't, whatever it is,
right?
We literally had I think 2 episodes that basically were put on ice.
Oh wow!
For like 3 months, and like the editors would just work on other shit,
mm-hmm.
and like, and then they would go back to it eventually. It's like going back to homework or something. It was just that was how the show was built.
That's awesome.
So it's a very unique streaming service stuff. It's very unique in that sense.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is my first
mm-hmm.
streaming service show.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's like this all the time. Like,
sure.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
That like there's this like freedom to it because you're building a whole season.
Right. Yeah. Everything's coming out at once, so you have to have it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's not this pressure of like getting it out the door in 2 months.
Sure.
It's just the pressure to get all 10 episodes out in the last month.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because the only streaming service thing I worked on a docuseries for Netflix, and I can mention that actually. I worked on Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat.
Yeah.
And that was just a 4-part docuseries.
Right.
And that was interesting because we would send out cuts this in kind of a similar fashion, like cut 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it only got stressful towards the end where it was like, okay, these are all locked, but now we got to like, this needs a tweak, that needs a tweak, something, somewhere.
Yeah,
but yeah, for scripted though,
it's literally the same thing. What we're talking about, like, it's you have all the time in the world until it's crunch time.
Yeah,
that's the feeling. It's like we could work on all these episodes. We just keep working, keep playing with it. Oh my god, it's premiering next month.
Right. Yeah.
We gotta lock stuff.
Yeah.
Like now.
Yeah.
We gotta send it to the sound house now.
Yeah.
So we gotta send a color right now.
Well, yeah, that kind of becomes similar to network where it's like, okay, well, this is
then the pressure's on.
Yeah, the air date's coming up, so just get it done.
We gotta finish this.
Yeah,
like today.
Yeah. The movies are a completely different thing. Movies are just kind of
it's whenever the fuck.
Yeah,
they want it.
Well, we work in indies, so on indie films it's a little bit you just kind of roll the punches into.
I love doing indie films.
That's great.
It's such a good time.
Yeah.
It's like, and there's so many unique characters in indie films. I love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You get to meet a lot of people on it.
Plus, you're really close with the crew. You're close with like the teams, and you meet the director a lot. You work with the director really closely sometimes, or for the most part, you generally know the director really well.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, indie films are fun. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
and they're very unique, and they're not like studio films.
I haven't worked in a studio film yet, so
me neither.
That's the goal.
That's the
paycheck goal. Yeah, that's just the goal in general, but it's also a massive paycheck.
I want to work on something that's a fat check.
Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah,
mostly not because it pays me a lot of money. Mm-hmm. That is a big part of it.
That's a big part. Yeah. I mean, that's not a lie.
Admittingly,
yeah,
but like mostly because I want to learn how that process is done.
Yeah. I want a Marvel movie so bad.
I don't care that much. I wanted to originally. Yeah. Like I think I told you guys in the last episode.
Yeah.
Briefly. Like so there's only two things or two or three things I would ever want to direct.
Oh, Shazam.
And Shazam was one of them.
Yeah.
And I saw that trailer and I was really mad and I really wanted to hate it.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, this is really good.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be really good.
Yeah.
And people kind of shitted on it because it was like, it's not giving enough information. It looks okay.
Right,
We're like in the stage of superhero movies where, and now people are raving about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm mad.
Yeah.
Because it's not my movie. Selfishly.
The movie that I want to work on no matter what, or at least try to work on, if it ever comes out. I was a little upset because it kind of came out already, but if they ever do a live action version, Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. And I want to be on that movie.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
In some capacity, Because
Tom Holland can't do it forever. I mean, and he's young as shit.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do it for a while.
Well, I feel like if they're gonna do it,
now's the time.
This is the time. Like in the third movie, bring in Miles, man. Because that's gonna be. That's the dude.
Yeah. I mean, they could introduce whatever. It's the Infinity War. They could do all sorts of stuff. They got to wrap shit up.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, they could get really like funky and like introduce dimensions.
I think it's gonna happen.
And like, there's another Spider-Man, and it's fucking Miles.
Sure,
and that's it.
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you, my whole theory is that Endgame. We're kind of falling way off topic here.
Yeah.
But my whole theory is
getting nerdy now.
Yeah. Straight nerdy.
Yeah.
Not just edit nerdy.
Yeah. You call it street nerdy?
Straight nerdy. Yeah. My whole theory is that Endgame is not the real subtitle.
Yeah.
It's Secret Wars.
Secret Wars.
And I feel like it's going to happen.
I don't think so.
Probably
I think we're watching fucking Endgame. I think that's it. If they were, dude, listen, a new trailer dropped today, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see it yet. If they were going to do it, they were going to do it today.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it comes out as Secret Wars,
you're going to be like, oh, fuck.
I called it. I fucking called it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. But so that's the workflow for scripted.
So that's scripted.
At some point you start talking about Marvel.
Yeah.
But no, that would be the movie I would want to work on.
Yeah.
If there's a big budget movie. It'd be a Marvel, specifically a Miles Morales Spider-Man movie.
Admittingly, I would love to do like
Guardians.
No,
I love Guardians because I'd want to work with James Gunn really bad.
I would want to do like an adaptation of an anime, but
Akira.
Yeah.
But
like the last few have not been good.
Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. I mean,
I watched it. It wasn't that bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
And I don't get why people hate it. I stand. Never mind.
The ScarJo part.
There's moments in that movie where you're like, I don't think it's her fault because she's fantastic.
No, it's not. Yeah.
There's moments in that movie where you could tell like she's poorly directed.
Yeah.
And when I say poorly directed, I don't mean the director going up to her and being like,
"Here's a bad note.
Hey, this is what you need to do."
Right.
I mean like there's so many moving parts to this.
Sure.
And the director is told something, and he needs to address it and like tweak the character a certain way.
Right.
So he's telling her to do that thing.
Right. Yeah.
And there's moments where it comes off, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you remember. Totally off topic.
That's fine.
You remember this moment where she's having a conversation at the police station, And then she totally turns into like a robot, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, I have no emotion. Remember?
Right,
Like they kind of spill out the guts of the movie. And you're like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Yeah.
It was so left field to the character and to what ScarJo was portraying in the movie. And then they just forget about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right after that shot. It was really bizarre.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just like some weird like studio note.
Yeah,
thing.
probably.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it feels like somebody who was probably potentially not familiar with the source material.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like gave like a note, like, oh, they should feel like a robot here.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of did it.
And they did the thing. It's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
But yeah, admittingly, I would love to do something like Cowboy Bebop or Trigon
or those are the two that,
Yeah. I think it's like necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to happen. Cowboy's being done.
Cowboy's being done.
Yeah.
Trigun should be a series. They should both be series. I mean, honestly, they should just remake it as a live action and just not even try to condense it.
I think Joss Whedon should do Cowboy.
I don't want him to touch anything. No.
No more?
No.
No more stuff?
No.
Well, it's Firefly. Firefly is basically Cowboy Bebop.
It is. And that's which is interesting because that is basically Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. But I like Joss Whedon a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny because, I'm talking shit. I said I didn't like him, and then I thought about it. Like I watched Age of Ultron recently, and I'm like, this actually isn't bad. It's the Iron Man 2 of the Avengers movies. Yeah. This is world building.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just you can tell he's tired.
You can tell he's tired, and you can tell there's a lot of world building for the next 10 movies.
Yeah,
which is what Iron Man 2 was. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, Iron Man 2 sucks. I'm like, no, it's just world building. It's just
There was a line in Avengers 2 where it's like, oh, you could tell that dude's exhausted. Where what's his name? Hawkeye.
Yeah.
There's a moment in the movie where he like breaks the entire fucking movie.
Oh, he's like, I'm gonna do with arrows. This is all crazy.
None of this makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is totally just him like
yeah. That's the best line in the movie though.
We're in an island in the sky. I'm shooting arrows at robots. None of this makes sense.
Yeah. That's the best line in the movie though.
Because that just feels like a moment of frustration on set.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're just
the moment you go out there, you're an Avenger.
Yeah, you just do the thing.
Yeah.
This is the third act. Just do the thing.
Yeah. For third act, just do the thing. It's true.
It's just fight the war with the fucking robots. Yeah. It was great. It was a great idea when we wrote it.
Yeah. Well, you want to go over so we should start wrapping up soon because we've been doing this for like an hour and a half, roughly.
Jesus Christ.
So you want to go over any stuff we're trying to work on right now, or do you
personal projects?
Yeah, personal projects. Do you want to do that, or you want to skip that?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
All right. So I guess I'll just do
origin stories.
Origin stories. Yeah. What's your origin story? Yeah.
In terms of post or like in general?
No, like you can do a brief general and mostly post.
Okay. Yeah. So I got my start through a program called Made in New York. They teach people how to be a production assistants.
Right.
And I did that.
Right. Yeah.
I did that, and I got on a ton of shit. Like I met some dude at a park, like my friend's friend. He was working on a movie, and then it just kind of snowballed. And I just did a bunch of like production work, and then I worked as like at a particular company called Primo Lux. I did a bunch of stuff for them, and eventually I started doing a lot of reality TV stuff on set, and I just expressed my interest working in post.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we'll bring you on, and it was a post production assistant.
Right.
And I would help out from there, and I would try to like watch over the assistant editors or try to see if they could give me stuff to do.
Right.
And like learn Avid, and I found that to be the worst way to learn it.
Right.
But which is true. Like I didn't learn shit.
Yeah.
Because it like you're trying to learn something, and these poor guys are just trying to get the day done.
Yeah.
Like they just need to work. So you being a little dickhead, little shithead, fucking all these questions. Oh my god, teach me. What's this mean? It's like,
what's that button do?
Yeah. So how I got my experience as a assistant editor, I just lied. Like I which is the most common way.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. Like so one show I worked on.
Yeah.
They needed that production company. They needed an assistant editor on another show. So I contacted them. I'm like, hey, I've done post work. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. And then I spoke to the post supervisor over the phone, and he's like, so you know how to do this? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do this? Yes. what's your day rate? And I gave like a super low rate.
Right.
And he was like, okay. And like, obviously I was green.
Yeah.
Obviously I was green. I was getting a low rate, and he was willing to bring me on at nights, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was awesome for me. That being said, I fucked up a lot on that show.
Right.
I should have gotten fired. Looking back.
Yeah.
I'm happy I didn't get fired.
Right.
I understand that we haven't worked together ever since. But it kind of laid the groundwork for me working as assistant editor.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the show was called Barbecue Pit Masters. It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I got my start in the business.
No, right on.
On post.
Yeah.
How about you, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started really young, which is really weird because I had an odd conversation. I think I was going to. I'm going to go way back for this, but I was having a weird conversation with my dad, where I think we were on our way to go see Jurassic Park, or something like that,
right?
Or some Spielberg movie, and he looks at me. He's like, "What do you want to do with your life?" I'm 12.
Dude, it's a normal conversation. Dude,
yeah,
I've had that conversation too. It's fucking weird.
It's weird. You know,
like, how dare you ask your 12-year-old?
I was just playing Rogue One. I was playing Rogue One earlier. Like, what do you want? Or like, whatever the
playing Sonic.
Yeah, whatever the game was. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Rogue One. That's a movie.
It's probably
Rogue Squadron. There we go.
What a fucking great game.
Great game.
Yeah. Go on.
Yes. No, but we're in a car and going to see the movie, and he's like, "So what do you do with your life?" And we're on our way to see movies. I'm like, "Oh, movies?
Yeah,
movies. Yeah, I guess. Yeah." He's like, "All right, cool. You should do that." I'm like, "Cool."
That was it.
He was just like super into it, and he was like, "You should pursue that. You should. If that's what you want to do. You should pursue it."
Supportive dad.
He's really supportive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my sister worked in the industry.
Yeah.
And like, I always wanted to do movies as a kid too.
Yeah.
Like I remember fucking. I think I told you the story before. Like in the 4th grade, Star Wars was super hot. Like they were doing they kept doing the remasters.
Yeah.
And then like everyone was writing like side stories and like connecting, like trying to connect the movies and stuff like that. And Shadows of the Empire came out.
Yes.
Which is fucking great.
It's fucking great.
And
game, book.
Oh my, the whole thing, good. Dude. Yeah. It's so good. And one of my friends was like, "We should make this a movie." We're in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
We should make this a movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll play Luke Skywalker."
Yeah.
And which was really funny. It was like, he was like this Peruvian kid who was like wide. He had like no business being I should have been Luke.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
you have the hair.
I have the hair and shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to be Dash Rendar.
No, well, that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it's fucking Dash. I'm like, I want to be Dash.
Yeah.
I want to be in the Outrider. Fucking let's do this. And like we would like just buy like the action figures and like, this is how you dress. And like we were just like planning shit and like we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
And then one day like one of my friends had a camera. Like it's just all like memories. Like like I'm just trying to connect shit together.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends brought a camera and we're at like my friend's house in his living room. Like trying to do a scene.
Oh my god.
And we're like, what the fuck are we like? And it was like such a cool thing. And when you realize like there's so much more that goes into it. And I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life kind of feeling. I had no idea how to do that.
Right.
My sister was a producer, still is a producer.
Right.
And she kind of planted the seed in my head where she was like, because originally I was just writing shit.
Right.
Like I just
you came from an English background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I write.
Yeah.
I'm a writer.
English major.
I'm a writer. Yeah. And
put words on a page.
I create fucking writers
from nothing.
I just out of thin air.
Yeah.
My sister was like, "Hey, dude," because me and my brother would always play on the computer or like Sega Genesis or like we had an ability to just be in front of technology.
Yeah.
All the time at that age.
Yeah.
So she planted the seed in my head. She was like, "Hey, man, you should be an editor."
Right.
And I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, it's someone who takes like a bunch of like all the footage together and makes a scene and makes a movie out of it or makes a whatever." And I'm like, "That sounds awesome."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah." And I feel like, because you're creative and you could be technical, that like I feel like you could sit down and do that. Like that, that's the hardest part about doing it. It's like fucking sitting down in front of a computer
and just doing it
and just doing the thing.
Yeah.
And she was like,
that is the hardest part of editing.
That's honestly literally the hardest part.
Yeah.
And she's like, I feel like you have that ability.
Yeah.
So she planted that seed, I think like in the 9th or 10th grade in my head.
That's really early.
It's really, yeah. And like, and then it turned into a thing of like, well, it was just me asking questions all the time, like obsessively asking movie questions. And she was the one where I was like, hey, maybe I should study film in college. And she was like, don't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, straight up. She was like, don't study film. She was like, it's a waste of time.
That's fair.
She was like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Study something that's important. So I studied English.
That's smart. Yeah. See, I went to film school.
No, but English is useless too.
No, dude, you can put together a sentence properly.
Yeah.
I can.
Not really. Have you seen me talk?
Well, no, that doesn't count. No, I went to film school. I went to a technical film school,
right,
in Philadelphia. But wait, let me go back actually.
Yeah,
because so that conversation happened in the car.
Yeah.
And then like nothing happened for like 5 years.
Yeah, that's what happened. You're just like, okay, and that's the end of it.
No, actually, one thing happened. Similar to your Dash Rendar story. I was really in love with Resident Evil 2 at the time when I was a kid. And I had this one kid, one friend of mine, his name was John. Actually, his name was Rodolfo, but for some reason he went by John. And I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why.
Hey, man. Props to John.
Yeah, you know. And but he had straight hair, and I have my fucking afro. So, but I would cut it short. So I was like, I can play Chris Redfield. You can play Leon Kennedy.
I love it.
I had like my dad's like old like fucking I don't know, it was
whatever the fuck
camera was at the time, and like it was fucking we were sitting here in like Mount Vernon, and like it was just it's a fucking demilitarized zone. Yeah. But
Raccoon City.
Yeah, it's and then we played it as Raccoon City, and we went in front of the train station, which is where like was like right behind my house.
Yeah,
and it was like it's the Metro North station.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to know this, if you're from Westchester, it's the Metro Mount Vernon West station.
Yeah.
And we were out there pretending like it was like, and we're just basically just two kids running around with a camera in the parking lot.
That's what you do. That's what you did. Yeah.
And yeah. So it was pretty funny. And then so a couple of years go by, and then eventually I ended up I was in high school, and I ended up in the TV department as like a full blown hardcore nerd, like in the AV department and shit, you know. And but what really got me into filmmaking was that I applied on a lark for this like NYU program for high school kids, and I ended up getting in somehow. And
so weird.
It was really weird because like
I'm not saying you didn't deserve it. I'm just saying it's
no, it was
crazy.
Weird. It was really weird because like I remember the application process, and it was like, what's one of your favorite movies? And for some reason at the time, as this is how fucking weird I was as a 12-year-old. I was really into Abbott and Costello.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like super into Abbott and Costello. So I wrote an entire I'm gonna say entire, but it was like 2 pages, essay on the merits of Abbott and Costello in filmmaking. And apparently I know now that was actually really intelligent.
That's brilliant.
It's brilliant. But at the time I was like, I'm just really into this. This is cool.
I enjoy this.
Yeah.
That's all you're thinking.
Yeah. As an adult looking back, I'm like, God, I was way smarter then than I am now. And
drugs are
drugs and beer fuck you up.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
Yeah. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's a hell of a drug.
But I don't do cocaine.
I don't do any of those things.
Except that 1 or 2 times. No, but so I did that, and I ended up getting into that program. And it was teachers from actually NYU, and it was so I got introduced to like a lot more like art films and that kind of thing, because at this point I'd only been introduced to like standard blockbuster films, or Spielberg, Spielberg in general or whatever, and like of course I had this weird Abbott and Costello thing. I fucking love it. I still love it. But so I did that, and then I ended up going to doing that for the summer, and that really kicked it off, because at that point is when I learned Avid.
Right.
Because I actually learned Final Cut Pro in that program, but then my teacher in high school decided to buy an Avid. Mm-hmm. So we had Avid in my high school.
See, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I wish, like, maybe...
It was Avid Express. So it was back in the day. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, man, that is back in the day.
Back in the day.
But, like, that's something I kind of want to do for my high school.
Yeah.
I want to kind of contact them and be like, hey.
Get Avid.
Do a fucking film thing. Because, like, I didn't have that. And I kind of wish I did. Yeah. And I think it's important because it's an aspect of art.
Oh, it is. Totally is. Yeah.
And it should be involved in high schools, and people should be okay with shooting footage and dicking around with it on the computer and just figuring it out.
Learning how to do it.
Yeah, you know, I think that's super important to have in high school if you want to become a filmmaker. Yeah. And if you don't, that's cool. You figure that out then.
Yeah.
But
you'll know by the time you're done with high school.
Yeah. You'll know.
Yeah.
You know, and instead of like this long dragged out, because I had a long dragged out process. Like, do I want to do film? And it was just me thinking about it.
Oh, wow.
For God knows how long. Yeah. And then I finally like started working in it, and that's how I started earning my bones.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, it's funny because like I said, I started in high school, so like I had this oddly enough, I had a teacher named Mr. Costello. Yeah. I'm not making this up.
It's fucking haunting you.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I know. And he was the one who introduced me to like watching like I think I watched The Godfather for the first time in class, you know, that kind of stuff like that.
Great film.
And but anyway, so like from that point forward, I went to college. I went to some shitty school in Philly because I wanted to be a skateboarder. And I was like, oh, I fucking skateboard and make films. Ended up only doing like half of those things.
Yeah.
And mostly drugs. And got back to
drugs, half the skateboarding.
Yeah.
Maybe a movie.
I made like one movie. It was terrible. I burned it.
Did you burn it?
I found the tape. I actually found the tape of the locked cut because it was back in tape days.
Yeah.
So we had output tape.
The digibetas.
Yeah. No, it was actually it wasn't digibeta. It was a Sony HD. Like it was like the mini DV cams, but the bigger ones.
Yeah. The HDDR or something.
Yeah, something like that. And I had that tape, and I think actually I still may have that tape in that trunk over there. But all the other files, all the other tapes, gone. Burned up.
Fuck!
Fucking just destroyed them.
I want to see this movie.
It's terrible.
I'm okay with that. Let's watch it.
It's so bad. And one day, once I guess I'm gonna read that fucking material. But yeah, anyway, so like the first job I actually got though was very similar to you, where I had been working I was back in New York, and I was doing a bunch of like random like little gigs here and there, and it was for this show called it was a reality house that was doing two pilots or two first seasons at the same time of an investigation discovery shows, and one was called Dates from Hell, and the other one was Dirty Little Liars, I think. Or Dirty Liars or Dirty Little Liars. I don't remember.
Dirty Laundry Liars.
I don't know. And they were like, do you know Avid? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you just fucking lie.
Because I knew Final Cut really well.
Yeah.
I had worked on Avid in high school, but I hadn't, from college on, I've been working in Final Cut. And so, you know Avid? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
And luckily the AE at the time, this guy, George, he was really knowledgeable and really open to helping me out. And he like, ran me through like what I need to do, and from that point forward, went from there.
Yeah, you just kind of ran.
Yeah, and then I just kind of worked way too much.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, it's 8 years later.
Yeah, you know,
doing a fucking podcast.
Yeah, talking shit.
Yeah,
that's the origin story.
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah, so this is us. Maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah.
Do some more stories, more post.
Yeah. You know, we have days
stories.
off.
Yeah. We both have a day off. Yeah. Yeah.
Just talk shit.
Yeah, talk shit.
Get technical. If you guys want to hear us do more technical stuff, let us know.
Yeah, please send us questions. You can actually send it to j3filmworks@gmail.com if you have any questions for us in the show.
If you want us to talk, more post stories, happy to do that too.
Yeah, we're down to do career killing content.
Yeah.
But that's
it's borderline what this is.
That's borderline.
Yeah.
We got real close.
Yeah.
Dangerously
close.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm Jim Chaliz, and you can find me on Instagram at jchaliz. You can find us at on Instagram at least at Postcast Podcast. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Stitcher, YouTube. You can find us. YouTube's a little confusing because YouTube you can find us at J3 Filmworks.
Right.
But or you can really search the Postcast Podcast, but you're gonna find like a golf podcast and like a horse racing podcast.
Yeah,
and
it gets
also
weird.
Us. It's a little strange.
Yeah.
So just search J3 Filmworks.
Right.
And you'll find us eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie, you want to do your stuff or no?
Well, I'm Jamie. Don't find me.
Yeah, don't find him.
You got it.
Yeah.
Just go look in the Postcast Instagram and shit, and you can message me from there. I don't want to give out my personal information.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, if you have any questions for us, or if you have any things, j3filmworks@gmail.com.
Yep.
All All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Next time on the Postcast.
Avengers!
Assemble. Avengers Endgame.
This has been a J3 Filmworks production.